morning walk on Monday, November 15th, 2021. Didn't record yesterday. Had family over. My mom and dad came down, so didn't record yesterday because I was hanging out with them. Didn't end up doing a cross video on Saturday. Ended up, what did I do? All we cleaned, and then I think I just edited. And the Prius too, so you know they're saving the environment by not replacing that bulb. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, my parents came down for the weekend. They're visiting my brother who lives north, and on their way down back to New York, they decided to stop and visit me and my girlfriend. It was nice. Got to spend the afternoon with them. Had a good time. You know, didn't get to see my parents too much in the last few months, so been good. Got to discuss the plans for Christmas and Thanksgiving, so got all that cleared up. And yeah, ooh, they're watching Bob's Burgers in there. But yeah, it's been good. I hope the audio isn't too questionable. I've got to talk to Parker about getting a microphone. I gotta talk to Parker about a bunch of things. Yeah, I'm gonna call him. If you ever hear me refer to my friend Parker, probably will have to be something to do with like audio engineering or audio production or whatever. I'm gonna take some pictures of this. Nice. Yeah, so I just took some photos. It really came out good. I forgot there was a night photo mode on this. I don't know why I've been taking photos on regular photo mode in the morning. I should take night photos, even though it's the morning. It doesn't matter. It's still just dark. But anyway, you live and you learn. You know, I'm new to photography and filmmaking, so I have no idea what I'm doing, and that's why I take you guys along with me. Anyway, I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace. We're back. And sorry, just checking my email. My mom just sent me something saying she sent me something, so I should check it. Anyway, sorry. Not quite a morning. Actually, it's not quite. It's not a morning. It's the afternoon. And the reason I'm doing this later is because I really didn't feel like filming this morning. And yeah, that was about it. I woke up, I really didn't want to film, and so I didn't. But I figured I was going to go on a walk later in the day. It's kind of a wash day at work. Nothing too exciting. Didn't record on Sunday because my parents were here and I didn't want to record with them, so excuse me. So I didn't do anything yesterday recording wise. Nothing yesterday. And then I'm doing this today. Just wanted to get out. Gonna go to Target soon with my girlfriend because we need a few things. Pants are falling down. They didn't tighten them enough. Oh well. I'm gonna go back to the fixing things because I did an intro. Which if I didn't, this is my intro. Welcome back to another day. Walking down the street. Walking down Ives again. Let's cut up. Yeah, but anyway, I have something to talk about. The F1 Championship. If anyone watches F1 out there, I am a big F1 fan. If anyone's wondering, I'm a Red Bull fan, specifically Max Verstappen. I started watching maybe like 2018, 2019, so fairly new. But definitely, let me list off a few drivers I like. Vettel, always love Kimi, he's the best. Really big Leclerc fan, but I don't know. I've lost faith in him this year. Carlos is kind of outperforming him. Big Max fan. Love George Russell, even though I think he's gonna give Max a headache. But yeah, I'm kind of a Red Bull fan. Love the Honda engine, love the Honda story. Love the principle of it. Just love the sport in general, you know. Never karted growing up. I never did anything involving racing. I didn't even do anything related to like racing or cars. I never was into NASCAR. I was never really into IndyCar or anything like that. Any other MotoGP or anything like that. Was never really into it. Then I watched F1, and it just kept intriguing me because there was more and more to it. And it was something about like knowing that these drivers are so good regardless of the car difference they have, you know. Like this year specifically has been great for me because I kind of watched the build up to it for the last 2 years, where Max was getting P3s consistently. If anyone doesn't know, he's position 3, like he finished 3rd behind the 2 Mercedes, and it's the first year he's kind of been able to actually challenge for the wins and stuff, and he's actually leading the championship. It's quite a time. Oh, there's a lot of people I'm watching. I'm trying to avoid the people. That's what it's easy. It's cool. Oh, they're going. I'm gonna But yeah, became a big Max fan. Love his overtakes. Love his style. You know, it just seems like he has so much control over the car. And I love that. It is like watching his content. And don't get me wrong, I'm not really a Lewis fan. I think he's really good. I think Max is better. But I also can watch Lewis and just say, damn, this guy is fast. Like, there's nothing when I watch him that doesn't make me say, this guy deserves every championship he has, you know, regardless of how much better the car was that year than everyone else. He still is one of the fastest guys I've ever seen. I mean, it was the Brazilian Grand Prix last weekend, and he started from P20 in the sprint and made it all the way up to P6 in like 23 laps, no tire change. Just straight up went bonkers. Got 5th place grid drop for his new engine. Ended up P10 to start out with for the Grand Prix, and what do you know? He wins it. But he was so blistering quick that no one could keep him behind. You know, he was on a different level yesterday. And I think it might have been because for the first time in his career, he wasn't the favorite to win. Maybe other than 2016, where it was Rosberg, and he wasn't the favorite. But whatever triggered inside him, that car was not. He was outperforming that car by a margin bigger than I've ever seen. And like I said, I'm not a Lewis fan, but watching that race, I have to appreciate how good he is and how much he was able to do with that car, you know. And I also think, so Brazil in the past few years, it's kind of been a Red Bull high downforce, high rake, kind of dominant circuit. And this year they took away a lot of the rear downforce that was created by these cars with these kind of holes in the bottom of the floor in the back end that would kind of create a low pressure area under the car on the backside to give them more backside downforce. And they did away with those this year, so all those holes are now have to be flat and they have to be a continuous board, so everyone lost some rear downforce at the beginning of the year. And so what I think happened is that the tracks, that Red Bull it kind of evened the playing field Because in the beginning of the season, we saw Mercedes was complaining, well, Red Bull was just got really helped by this change and this and that, and they did. But now, at the tracks where Red Bull was dominant, like the Mexicos and the Brazils, Mercedes, so, you know, you had the Mexicos and the Brazils and other high downforce tracks. Red Bull either weren't as dominant or were getting beat by Mercedes for the pure fact that they lost that rear downforce, and it kind of evened out the playing field between the two. You know, it became less clear who could be dominant on what circuits, because it was a whole new type of design now. So I think that's why it's confusing. And you know, this last race kind of brings in line like, oh, is the Mercedes car a lot quicker than the Red Bull? They were qualifying half a second ahead and this and that. And I would say on certain tracks, yeah, but I think you gotta look on the tracks that in the past Mercedes has been dominant and say, where's Red Bull stack up on those tracks? Because that will show Red Bull's progress. We see Mercedes progress by saying, well, they qualified really well in both. They did, you know, they did everything really well in both Mexico and Brazil. So a lot of people, two dogs fighting. Where'd it go? Oh, cool, like 9 minutes. So maybe only like 10 minutes. So it's good content. But yeah, so I think that's all the case we had. I'm not sure which car is better. We'll have to see, you know, when the checkered flag in the last race drops and who wins. But I think just what happened was that the tracks that they were more dominant on, where people realized like, hey, they're dominant on this track. They weren't as dominant this year because of the rule changes. And regardless if it was Red Bull, Mercedes, or a Ferrari, the rule changes made it that everyone was more equal in each of the tracks. The circuits, I should say. But it was a really interesting race to watch. And, you know, kudos to Lewis Hamilton. Like I said, never and not congratulations. He is a phenomenal driver. Someone who I think any young person who wants to get into racing could look up to and say, this guy really does the right thing. I don't always agree with the way he puts himself in the public, and the way he kind of talks about how he cares about fashion and, you know, he could care less about that stuff. But at the end of the day, on the track, I don't care who you are, you have to respect him. And you have to say, even though he had the best car for a good while, that was much faster than everyone else, he still is probably the fastest driver on the grid. Like I said, I think Max can challenge him, and I think Max can beat him. But it doesn't always mean he's the fastest. Max might get lucky a few more times. Max might make less mistakes, or whatever the case is. But should be a last good couple races. I think there's 3 races left, and there's like 12 points between the two. It's really close. It's going to be really, really fun to watch. I think that's the most exciting thing about F1 right now is for 7 years before this, you had Mercedes dominance. You know, every single year, same winner, no chance. No one could even catch second place. And now you have this fight, this challenge. It's been going on all season, but right now, it's peaking. It's a really fun fight to watch. It's a clean fight. I almost have to say, you know, I was talking to someone today about Max, and I was saying how when he first entered, he crashed into a lot of people and he hit a lot of people. And granted, that was his aggressive driving style. No doubt. That's all the great drivers do. They crash through everyone until someone... I mean, Ayrton Senna and Martin Brundle have a famous story where, you know, Ayrton dives down the inside of Martin and you basically put him in a position of like, you're either crashing into me or you're letting me through. And you know, sometimes you gotta pick crash into just to make a point. And Martin did. He crashed into him and ended up wheel on top of the head, just like Hamilton over Verstappen. And you know, I think that just says to you that, yeah, that's the best racing drivers, the guys that don't care and are like, I'm gonna put you in a position that you're gonna hate. So I don't blame them for doing that, but my whole point was saying that, you know, he looks really nice, is that he spent a lot of years crashing into people, a lot of years getting in stupid things. I mean, I think a couple years ago back to Brazil when he got into he pushed Esteban Ocon because the guy spun him when he was trying to unlock himself. It's something, but I think he has it out of the system now. And I'm not saying he doesn't crash because we've seen it, but I don't think he crashes as much. I think he knows how to control it. I think he knows how to control the overtakes and control the race to say, I'm going to give this up. Like Brazil, this was a good weekend to show it. It was like when Hamilton tried to pass him, he did pass him on the straight, and then on the second straight, Max came back at him and basically dived on the inside. They both braked way too late and missed the corner. But instead of Max running into him and crashing, he kept it on the inside, maybe tapped him, but didn't really tap him. And then they kept driving, and Max got no penalty for it. And Lewis was on the like, oh, of course he did. Well, yeah. And the reason I think Max doesn't get penalties for those things is because he's gotten so many penalties that he knows what to do to avoid a penalty. So even if he's going to do the wrong action and do something a little dirty, he knows how to avoid a penalty, you know? And that's what I think the important part is he can avoid penalties. For every time Hamilton's crashed into him, Hamilton always gets a penalty. He's not good at avoiding penalties. And, you know, I think it's just Hamilton didn't crash through people for 7 years in his first, you know, his first couple years in his career. He didn't have to do that. "15 minutes? I gotta go a little longer so I have some more stuff." But yeah, watching the F1 Championship, that's exciting. Watch a little bit of American football, but I tend to watch more American football when it gets closer to the playoffs. I find it to be more interesting. Not that the regular season isn't good, but sometimes, you know, my team sucks, the Giants, so you know, when your team's bad, you don't care to watch. When your team's good, you want to watch every game. So but that's about it with sports. It's really cold out today, but it's honestly kind of nice out right now. It was cold where I was working, but it's nice and warm over here, to be honest. Let's headlight out. And the Prius too, so you know they're saving the environment by not replacing that bulb. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, my parents came down for the weekend. They were visiting my brother who lives north, and on the way down back to New York, they decided to stop and visit me and my girlfriend. It was nice. Got to spend the afternoon with them. Had a good time. You know, didn't get to see my parents too much in the last few months, so it's been good. Got to discuss the plans for Christmas and Thanksgiving, so got all that cleared up. And yeah, ooh, they're watching Bob's Burgers in there. But yeah, it's been good. I hope the audio isn't too crappy. I've got to talk to Parker about getting a microphone. I gotta talk to Parker about a bunch of things. Yeah, I'm gonna call him. If you ever hear me refer to my friend Parker, probably will have to be something to do with like audio engineering or audio production or whatever. I'm gonna take some pictures of this.